Just a couple of, how many of you came to our big Ask a VC event here in New York a few months ago? All right, a few of you guys? Okay, cool. Well, the way it worked was that we, instead of having these awesome entrepreneurs and tech folks up here, we had investors, and we had 350 attendees, 35 investors. This room was, for those of you who are here, it was packed. Yeah, 2 rooms, we had to split the room. It was awesome, it was chaotic. It was probably like took down like the audio visual system, for those of you that are here recall, like it went down a couple of times. And the way it works is that we basically have investors here sitting on panels of 6 and 7 investors each. We actually did have 2 rooms going on at the same time. And they're answering questions what's called Ask Me Anything style. So what do you ask? Anything. So, right? So it could be like, will you invest in hardware companies? Will you invest in fashion companies? Do you invest in companies outside of New York, inside New York, with money, don't have money? You know, founded by 82-year-olds, founded by 2-year-olds. You know, it's like all the questions that you could possibly think of were being asked and answered, which is awesome. And then, of course, we did after the panels, we did this thing called the lightning round. So for those of you that were there, you came in, you signed up, you put your name on a list, and basically your name went on this big spinning wheel, big virtual spinning wheel. We spun the wheel, and when it landed on your name, you had 1 minute to do an elevator pitch in front of the audience, in front of the panel, and the panel had 2 minutes to provide their feedback. And it's a lot of fun, and really the purpose of doing that, yes, you're kind of pitching, but really it's to hear, so like, what is a good elevator pitch? Because these are really elevator pitches, and to hear what the investors think in that short amount of time. 60 seconds is not a lot of time, but actually it's quite a bit of time. You're surprised sometimes. You're like, my idea is to basically broadcast information 140 characters at a time. And like all you have to be like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. But of course that's Twitter. So what else is there? That's the whole idea. And some people, so you can kind of like hear and get feedback and that sort of stuff. And we do 2 parts, a panel, lightning round, a panel, a lightning round. At the very end of this thing called the Venture Fair. The Venture Fair is like even the most valuable part of all that. The whole thing is valuable, but basically the Venture Fair is like a job fair, except instead of employers standing behind tables, it's investors, and so you get an opportunity to walk up to them and talk to them, which is pretty awesome. And you get a guaranteed spot. We do these dance cards, so you get like a guaranteed spot with 2 investors so that no one's like, you know, hoarding the line there. So you're always guaranteed a spot. So there's 10 of these dance card spots with 2 investors. Everybody who comes in gets 2 cards. You get to pick the cards. Then you stand in line. And then after everybody's done with their dance, we do like a free-for-all at that point, because that's everybody gets 3 minutes. Meeting with an investor, so that's times 10. You guys can do the math. That's half an hour there or less. And then after that, anybody can meet with anybody. Well, anyways, I have 2 separate events for you. The next Ask a VC event is in DC. So it's not here in New York. It's in DC on November 6th. And it's gotten pretty big. So look, it's on Eventbrite. It's Ask a VC DC, Friday, November 6th. It's worth it because we have 30 investors coming, including about half of them from New York, which is interesting. They're coming down to DC, plus Revolution Ventures and NEA. And those guys have invested in Google, they have invested in Yahoo, they put $100 million into a single round. Pager, you guys, yeah, NEA yeah, NEA, those guys are powerhouses. You want to meet with them, and it's $39. It's probably going to cost you more just to get on the train to get down there. And we've gotten so large that we've actually moved our venue. We were at DLA Piper's location in New York. We got too big for that location. So we're actually now at Howard University, which is amazing for a couple of reasons. One, they have a space for 600, which is about how big we think this is going to get. We're already at 300 registrations with like a little less than a month to go. And 2, for those of you that aren't familiar with Howard University, they're a historically black university, and they have this new entrepreneurship and business program, and a huge bunch of tech and business entrepreneurs are coming out of the program. They're actually, you're going to hear about the news, they're actually launching a national accelerator for so-called hub zones and underserved communities in the tech community, and we're going to be the first big event. So we are excited to be part of that. You're all welcome to come and join us. It's right in DC, in the heart of DC. So that's November 6th. The second announcement I got for you is we're bringing Ask a VC back to New York in January. But it's not just going to be Ask a VC. It's going to be Ask a VC plus 5 other events into a spectacular event we're calling Startup Spectacular. So you may have seen this in the announcement that we pushed out yesterday. It's going to be at Fordham University, January 14th and 15th, and we're going to be combining Ask a VC, all-day workshops on entrepreneurship, like how to negotiate with investors, marketing for startups, sales for startups, accounting for startups, how to hire, how to fire, whatever, and all these courses, 45-minute courses, that's on day one. In addition to that, we're doing this thing that we stole from another event called the Press Gauntlet. So we're basically going to invite a bunch of tech writers from the press, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, CNN, TechCrunch, blah, blah, blah. They're going to have a bunch of tables, and we're going to do speed dating with the press. So you'll get an opportunity to meet with them, talk to them, pitch them your idea. Then we're doing what's called something called Crowdfundapalooza, where we're going to have an expo, but the expo is not just going to be people who can afford a kiosk, it's people who are in the middle of crowdfunding at that moment. We're going to start, we're going to tally up how much they've raised, and then at the end of the 3 hours Crowdfundapalooza, which it does involve drinks, we're going to see who's raised the most during that 3 hours, and we're going to kick in an additional amount of money to the winner. So that's pretty awesome. Crowdfundapalooza. We're doing this in partnership with Indiegogo, so there'll be some big news about that. And then on day 2, we have in the morning Ask a VC. We've got 30 plus investors already confirmed for this. We're at Fordham. We're in the huge Bateman and Constantino rooms. We'll have plenty of room for you. It's even bigger than Microsoft. And then after that, we got this thing called M&A Connect, which is a version of Ask a VC, but for acquisitions. Do you want to meet the people from Google who buy companies, or from Samsung who buy companies, or from Pearson, or from Simon? They're coming. Instead of the investors, there'll be people who be like, yes, we acquired blah, blah for $350 million. Ask me anything. That's the format of the event. We do Ask me anything, so you can ask me anything. And then we're going to do an M&A fair. So you get to get your 3 minutes with Mr. Bunnybags at Google. Whew. Sounds pretty awesome, sounds very intense. We're gonna have some keynotes. It's 2 days, it's awesome. It's $99 a day. We're gonna have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, whatever. It's gonna be awesome. Startupspectacular.com. Whew, did I make it? I think so. How are we doing here? All right, we got to get into it. Let me just open it up for any open event shout-outs.
Tickets for that event online yet?
Tickets are online right now, kids. Register early and get an early discount. Startupspectacular.com. Pretty good. It'll reroute you. It'll kick you to Eventbrite. Yes, event announcement. Yes,
I was going to say, Ron, when's the next Breakfast NYC? Because it's on a Tuesday every time, right?
That's right. Thank you for mentioning that. So the very next one is actually November 2nd, which is a Monday. And it's going to be here at Microsoft because there's a lot of stuff going on in New York and the venue wasn't available. So, but thanks for mentioning it because it's not on the usual day for the next one. Got a jump shot, or some event shot in the back. Yes?
Yes.
Here she comes. Hold on. Next got the mic. Great.
If you are into music startups or know anybody that wants to be a music startup, the Music Business Association is hosting its Music Startup Academy on November 3rd. If you go to musicbiz.org, you can find out more and register. It's at night. It's a great event of a crash course on what you need to know to have a successful music startup. And they also have like a mini Shark Tank, so you can try out that elevator pitch again and get real feedback from folks on if it's going to work and what real people who work in the industry would think of it. So,
All right.
musicbiz.org.
Musicbiz.org. Sounds great. That's coming up when? When's that?
November 3rd.
November 3rd, so the day after Tech Breakfast. Okay. Any other events? I do have one other thing for you, and I promise I'll let my friend from Domain Skate keep going here. I almost call it Domain Steak. I got steak in my mind. How many of you have heard of South by Southwest? Oh yes, it's spring break for startups, which is exactly what it is, kids. We run the largest morning event at South by Southwest. We've been doing it for a few years now. The Pager folks know this. We actually feed 1,400 people breakfast tacos. We have a 5-hour version of Tech Breakfast. We have a demo stage plus kiosks. It does not require a badge, which means it is free to attend, which is why we're probably the largest morning event at South by Southwest. There's a line that goes around the block because people are there for the breakfast tacos, and we're totally aware of that. We're totally cool. We're like hangover medicine Sunday morning. You're out partying Saturday night. You're like, where can I get the free tacos? Come to Tech Breakfast. But this is an opportunity for you. If any of you want a presence at South by Southwest, we have, I think, 5 or 6 more kiosk spots available. It's very inexpensive. It's meant for startups. It's $4.95. If you want to have a presence there, you get there. You'll be at South by Southwest. You'll be on the promo. It is an official part of the calendar. It's not a side event. It is, if you go to southbysouthwest.com and you look for the event on Sunday morning, you'll see Tech Breakfast Showcase. Especially right now it's called Tech Breakfast Spectacular, but it'll be called Tech Breakfast Showcase. If you're interested in participating on a kiosk, let us know. We got 5 more spots. This is the time to do it because even though it's March, those hotels book early. Okay, I think that was